Alexander Romanovich Belyaev was a Soviet-Russian writer of science fiction. His works from the 1920s and 1930s made him a highly regarded figure in Russian science fiction, are often referred to as Russia's Jules Verne. Belyev's best-known books include Professor Dowell's Head, Amphibian Man, Ariel, and the Air Cellar. Biography. Alexander Belyaev was born in Smolensk in the family of an Orthodox priest. His father, after losing two other children, wanted him to continue the family tradition and enrolled Alexander into a Smolensk seminary. Belyaev, on the other hand, didn't feel particularly religious and even became an atheist in seminary. After graduating, he didn't take his vows and enrolled into a law school. While he studied law, his father died and he had to support his mother and other family by giving lessons and writing for theater. After graduating from the school in 1906, Belyaev became a practicing lawyer and made himself a good reputation. In that period, his finances markedly improved, and he traveled around the world extensively as a vacation after each successful case. During that time he continued to write, albeit on small scale. Literature, however, proved increasingly appealing to him, and in 1914 he left law to concentrate on his literary pursuits. However, at the same time, at the age of 30, Alexander became ill with tuberculosis. Treatment was unsuccessful. The infection spread to his spine and resulted in paralysis of the legs. Belyaev suffered constant pain and was paralyzed for 6 years. His wife left him, not wanting to care for the paralyzed. In search from the right treatment, he moved to Yalta together with his mother and old nanny. During his convalescence, he read the work of Jules Verne, H.G. Wells, and Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, and began to write poetry in his hospital bed. By 1922, he had overcome the disease and tried to find occupation in Yalta. He served a brief stint as a police inspector, tried other odd jobs such as a librarian, but life remained difficult, and in 1923 he moved to Moscow, where he started to practice law again, as a consultant for various Soviet organizations. At the same time, Belyaev began his serious literary activity as writer of science fiction novels. In 1925, his first novel, Professor Dowell's Head, was published. From 1931, he lived in Leningrad with his wife and oldest daughter. His youngest daughter died of meningitis in 1930, aged 6. In Leningrad he met H.G. Wells, who visited the USSR in 1934. In the last years of his life, Belyaev lived in the Leningrad suburb of Pushkin. At the beginning of the German invasion of the Soviet Union during the Second World War, he refused to evacuate because he was recovering after an operation that he had undergone a few months earlier. Death. Belyaev died of starvation in the Soviet town of Pushkin in 1942 while it was occupied by the Nazis. A German officer and 4 soldiers carried his body from his home and conducted a burial. The general spoke a short eulogy, saying that when he was a boy, he had loved reading the writer's books translated into German. As a gesture of respect, they gave him an Orthodox burial in the ground. The exact location of his grave is unknown. A memorial stone at the Kasanskoe Cemetery in the town of Pushkin is placed on the mass grave where his body is assumed to be buried. His wife and daughter managed to survive and got registered as Volksdeutsche. Near the end of the war, they were taken away to Poland by the Nazis. Due to this, after the war, Soviets treated them as collaborators. They were exiled to Bern Ariel and lived there for 11 years. Bibliography. Selected novels. Professor Dowell's Head, New York, Macmillan, 1980. ISBN 002-5083708. The Ruler of the World. The Shipwreck Island Publisher. Create Space Independent Publishing Platform. 2012. ISBN 1480310. The Amphibian Man. Moscow, Raduga Publisher, 1986. ISBN 505000659-7. The Last Man from Atlantis. Battle in the Ether. Eternal Bread. The Man Who Lost His Face. The Air Seller. Jump into the Void. KET's Star. The W Lab. Ariel. Anthologies edited. A Visitor from Outer Space.